Y'all ready to head off the trails? I'm the Cryptid Huntress, Jessica Jones, and I'm ready to take you on a mysterious journey right now. We welcome you to Off the Trails right here on the Spaced Out Radio's YouTube channel. If you guys haven't hit subscribe yet, please do. We would love to have you guys. Shout out to Bumblefoot for that kick-ass intro music. I always appreciate that. You guys, please go follow us on our social media sites, on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on TikTok and Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. You guys can find me at thecryptidhuntress.com, where all of my shows are posted there, all the events that I'm going to be speaking at, and more. You guys can find it all there. Okay, please come join us, you guys. We're going to be in Reno at the Spaced Out Radio Fan Party. That is May, I think it's the 10th and the 12th. Okay, go find all the rest of the information on that on the website, spacedoutradio.com. All right, man, I see so many of you guys in the chat today. Thank y'all for being here. Shout out to all my moderators and everybody who's been joining me over on my channel too, The Cryptid Huntress. You guys, please go subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. I do 3 live shows a week over there. Just added a new one on Saturday nights. And yeah, I haven't been back since before Easter. So what's up, y'all? What's up, SOR world? It's so good to be back. But yeah, I'm kicking butt and taking names over there on that channel too. So y'all please come see me. Go like, share, and subscribe at The Cryptid Huntress on YouTube and Rumble and everywhere else it's broadcasting. Okay, well, I have a fantastic show for us tonight, you guys. Are you guys into the Matrix movie? I know you are, because that was always one of my favorite movies. Well, I have Tom Althouse here in the studio with us tonight. Now, he wrote a screenplay called The Immortals, and apparently, okay, we're just going to say, we're going to talk about this tonight. The Matrix was based off of his screenplay. And so we're going to really get deep into that tonight. And we're going to talk about the Matrix and potentially us living in a simulation. Okay. Because I think it's totally possible that that's what's happening right now. But okay. So don't forget that right after this show, Rob G has a fantastic show on After Hours. So you guys please go and hang out with Rob G at After Hours right when we get done tonight. Okay, let's get to our guest. Thomas Althouse is an award-winning performer, visionary, and writer who is fighting to restore his rights and name credit to his work fully submitted and used to create The Matrix. He and his last surviving son have refused to give up after having everything taken from them by Hollywood studios and agencies working in tandem. His evidence, referred often as blowaway, speaks for itself as he is currently working on his book Disclosing All and hoping to make a difference for other writers in the twisted realm that is Hollywood. And let me tell you, I've heard some pretty horrific stories of people having their work taken and copied in Hollywood. So we're going to bring up Tom Althouse now. Please help me welcome Thomas to the show tonight. Hey, Tom.
Hey, great to be here, Jessica. And great to see the chat going off.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for being here. This is a treat, and it's really an honor to have you here. It really is. I know I got to meet you on Beyond the Box when I was a special guest over there. And it's just been, it tickled me to death to find out that you are Tom Althouse that actually wrote The Immortals, which I believe that The Matrix was based off of.
Yes, we have the script right here to show you. And the other side hates when I hold this up, but I mean, they're trying to call this a forgery now. You can see the embossed seal from the Copyright Office. This bolted thing, they say here, the one party here, this is supervising copyright specialist with their name on it, says that this is irrefutable. And it even has the PAU number here, where anybody can look up that number and find the Immortals and all the pages therein in the Copyright Office. And so what's interesting is that we have all the proof, and Warner Brothers and Disney is actually saying, you have too much proof. It's overwhelming. No one will ever understand it. There's too much evidence. I'm like, wow, okay.
Well, when does that ever happen? Too much evidence, so that should hold up in a court of law. And it's just really perplexing that, and you're not the only story that I've heard of something like this happening to. I actually have a friend who this has happened to before. But it seems like a judge would overturn that or something at some point. What is going on?
Exactly, Jessica. But what you have to look at is the playbook. We're actually writing, you see the papers on the floor back there. That's the book, one book coming
Yes.
out. We're also writing the playbook of the cabal. People need to help each other out, especially in the entertainment industry. You can't let them pick us off like Caesar conquering Gaul, one tribe after another. We've got to have the tribes unite if we're going to stop these Caesars in Hollywood. And so basically a historic reference. But you need to do this. Right now, I have so much information on the court system, how it's monkeyed with and played with. And I will give you a key element for people to watch for right here, free of charge. What you have is they are going to go for a summary judgment. Now, a summary judgment means there's absolutely not a single triable issue. That means you don't have this. This is a triable issue. Every page in here with all the 190 matchups, including Jackson Neck, Proceeding the Matrix, Little Girl, Train Station, Liquid Mirrors, Blue Pill, Red Pill, Squiddies, Little Girl Pointing the Sun. Each one of those is a triable issue. You cannot have a summary judgment against its author unless you provide your own attorney. If you provide your own attorney, your classmate, a defense attorney, watch for defense attorneys wanting to prosecute for you. Doesn't make any sense, does it?
No.
It's their defense attorneys going to use them as defense for their defendants by representing you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
What happens is they will do this. The last thing our Tony Rankin from Maui, classmates with Linda Burrow of Warner Brothers, classmates from University of Berkeley, did, basically, was after I finally fired him, within a half hour after he was fired, he calls his classmate from Warner Brothers and says, "You may proceed to summary judgment without any objections, and take this phone call to represent the meeting." Let's dissect that. He was fired. He's done. Adios. Yet, they railroaded it through that his call to his classmate and cohort at Warner Brothers enabled not one single triable issue, not just this, every working draft, every matchup, every insert was then out of play. That's the only way they can get a summary judgment. Then they use their own news sources to say he lost his case and they want that to stand, and get the judge that they appointed to say with prejudice. People ask, why aren't you doing a case right now? You have to educate the public with all the facts, like Batman, the Fingers family from Batman. Then you go to court. Educate the court of public opinion. Now that's the battlefront right now. So you're gonna see plants coming in going like, you should vet your guests. This man's full of, shovel. And this man is a liar. He's a con artist. You're gonna hear this a lot from those that are their biggest threats that'll be levied upon us, even though we have all the evidence. So I look forward to going into some of the evidence tonight.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, you do have, I was looking over all the stuff that you sent me, all the documents and everything. And I mean, you have some pretty big names that you're kind of having to go up against here. And I just, man, you hear so many things about people in Hollywood, and I don't want to say it, cult, things like that, but there's a lot, it's like an uphill battle, and it can be very dangerous, I can assume. And I'm going to say deadly. And I know I don't want to get too much into that aspect tonight, because I don't want to get Dave in trouble over here at Spaced Out Radio. But I do want to talk about it a little bit. Yeah. And I also want to pick your brain, because we need to talk about the Matrix and the Immortals. I want to kind of compare and contrast a little bit your screenplay with the Matrix, which is one of my favorite movies.
One thing I'd love to do with you, Jessica, and your audience also, is let's take a look, if you want, at some of how the images were lifted. Because what they did was they created it. Fans of the work would know that the Wachowskis created a 600-page visual storyboard. That is the device they pitched to Warner Brothers in order to steal the work. So what you have is this screenplay was used, Paul Martin even verified, the fight choreographer. This is used on set. They're lifting every image as they think is cool, with the visual storyboard in the other hand, with a 20-foot rule that if you're within 20 feet, you're fired, because you'll see this. And what happens is they lift every image and hoped it would tie together in the end. That does not make a story tight. So what you have then is concepts that are lifted and simplified with what they're familiar with being mixed in. The train man from Ghost. You've got Alice in Wonderland imagery. You've got Necromancer. You've got Dark City. Yes, all these are being mixed in as the Wachowskis make it up on set to fill in the gaps as the crew teams are waiting to shoot the next set. So what you have is the actors are actually improvising. This has been made clear in testimony and everything else. So now we understand how they lifted it. But what's fun is, what I'm proposing is, looking at some of the scenes they lifted and seeing how they simplified it, and look at what they were actually originally meant to be and where they came from. If that floats your boat.
Oh my God. Absolutely. I mean, because, okay, I have to give full disclosure here. I watched The Matrix again this morning because I had not seen it since it first came out, honestly, even though it was one of my favorite movies. And I thought I was awake back then. Okay, I thought I was awake. But today I am awake, very much awake. And it had a whole other meaning to it, to where I was actually crying because I resonated so much with so much of the content in that movie. I actually felt like part of it was my life. Okay, some of it was weird, and so that's why I'm just, like I said, I'm honored to have you here so we can actually discuss some of the aspects of this movie.
Can I propose one to you right away?
Yes.
The silver pen. Now, what's interesting is we have the silver pen here, and you have the architect clicking the silver pen, changing channels on his monitors. That's the simple minds of the Wachowskis that failed at everything. Even though it said their mom said all they did was read comic books, right? They never succeeded at their painting business. They flunked out of school. They never made even their original work, Plastic Man and Carnivore, yet. Nobody still wants it. So they simplify everything with their simple minds. They even had an article in 1995 that they failed as writers, had to pack their bags unless they're given the science project, which is one of the code names they used for this. So the silver pen. Why do they have the architect holding a silver pen and going click, click, changing channels? They're trying to invert and create something to make sense out of a lifting of an image they think is cool. Here's the secret from the inside, if you will, from the horse's mouth. The pen, the silver pen, I thought was stupid that I put it in there later and meant to take it out, but I forgot. So the silver pen stayed and the Wachowskis lifted it. There's a rule in copyright law, if you have a fair venue with due process, not with what we had, then it is considered that if a mistake carries over from the original work into the stolen version, it's a thumbprint of the theft. Does that make sense? Right.
Yeah.
One of the things to look for.
It's evidence.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the silver pen originally was in the scene with Bane and Smith, where, do you remember the scene where Neo is looking through Bane's eyes and sees the flaming Smith?
Okay.
Do you recall? That scene when he's on the ship and they're about to go to the dome, right, the Trinity.
Yeah.
That scene is where they put the idea of where the silver pen actually was originally. In that scene where Bane faces off with Neo in the original work, and Smith is being seen through the eyes of the Bane character, you have Smith ordering Neo, in my work, to remove the pen from his pocket. Yeah. And it's like, that's kind of odd, right? And he's told to put it down. This is in one of the beginning sequences, so Neo is not as savvy as he is this point later in the film, right? So it's an earlier scene where he's not so savvy yet. He's a fish out of the water. I hope people can follow me. So what happens is that pen is blasted away by the agent as a threatening gesture. Here's what's going on. The pen symbolizes the loss of Neo's freedom of choice and creativity. So what they do, they take the screenplay, Neo character, the author models after himself, and gives the pen to the architect to hold in the stolen work, clicking it. Does that make any sense?
Oh yeah, it does. I mean, that's a telltale sign right there.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, it is.
Isn't that something? Now you want one more, just in case? And
oh yeah.
Okay, here's another one.
Yeah, let's do another one.
Little girl at the train station. The little girl at the train station. Where does that come from, first of all? The little girl is my daughter that was taken from me.
Okay.
And in the original work, Neo loses his daughter. She's taken from him. And he's brought back and sees her dying as an older woman when he's cryogenically preserved and brought back out of the field of pods, right? Revived. That's where that comes from. And he sees her, and so he's told that he can't see anybody. But it's Smith that's there when he's revived from the field of pods. And the architect has instructed Smith to mentor Neo in the program. Follow. That's total different way, isn't it? much more complex. Why? Because the architect is in an immortal program. Now follow me on this. This is a lot. The architect is in an immortal program where his mind is going to atrophy from lack of stimulation. So he has agents that stir up trouble with others in the free world to stimulate the architect's mind, where he knows what's going to happen, and also has Neo, the greatest good represented, facing off with Smith, the greatest bad, where Smith is to mentor him and they hate each other, to create even more conflict and stimulation for the architect's mind, where he's going to turn them on each other at a certain point. It's so much to it, where the neural link's going to say, she's still alive, which sends him hightailing to underground with the architect's plans and timing. This is all the layers. Now, keep in track one more thing. Now, it's simplified by the Wachowskis. They do this with the red pill, blue pill, right?
Yeah, very famous. Yes, you take the red pill and the blue pill.
It's from Alice in Wonderland, Drink Me, Eat Me. They put Alice in Wonderland. That's not what it's supposed to be. Now, the scenario I just gave you, and I know you're super intelligent, your audience is too. That's why I'm going this level. I wrote to treat audiences as intelligent. So here we go back to the scenario, right? Where we're talking about Neo going to see his daughter and Smith is going to mentor him. Here we go. Smith gives him the red pill. There is no choice but to take the red pill. It's not this, it's this. And that's how the cabal works. I've had this happen. You are offered the red pill, or you and your last surviving family members will die. That's how the cabal works. It's not this. You don't get choice in the cabal. You get this. So Neo takes the red pill, enters the program, buying time, trying to see what he can do and achieve to reunite with his daughter and find his wife. What happens is they took a relationship out. He is cut from the program at that one point, ends up in underground, and Morpheus gives him a blue pill, a bootleg pill of the red pill, so he can re-enter the program to take on the Smith and the architect. The blue pill is the bootleg pill with painful side effects that he is given in the underground in Zion. See? It doesn't, so they ruined it. They simplified it by going, take your choice. It's like, no, it's this or you die. You're cut from the program. We have a solution. Here's a blue pill. You can re-enter the program, not based on the blood of the children.
Wow. Okay.
Now, yeah, go ahead.
Well, okay. Well, I have a million questions for you. Okay. But to start off with, what year did you write the Immortals? Because you were way beyond your years. Okay. Right. Because of course, most of us didn't discover the Matrix until we even saw the movie. Okay. Right. A lot of people, I mean, what year did you write this screenplay, The Immortals? And I mean, how do you have this knowledge? Is this something that you've always studied, or you just inherently, you've lived it?
Now, keep me on track, because I'm going to answer as a writer. And as a writer, I think in layers, and as a writer in layers, it'll go different tracks.
Okay, that's okay.
Back to a point, if it seems like I'm missing it, bring me back to that point. Got it. That's the ground rules.
Yeah. Okay.
On track. So basically, I wanted to, and then ask me too after this about the Ghost program. Another thing they ruined. Okay. I want to tell you about the Ghost program, and I think we'll be hearing things that have never been talked about before. So it's going in the book back there. But yeah. So anyway, it was written between 1989 and 1993. Now the Wachowskis say it took them 3 days to write it. No, it didn't. It maybe took you 3 days to decide to lift it. But the thing is that basically what you have is it is a reflection of what happened in my real life, where I was told my life was over. I knew what it meant, and I would end up dead. So I whispered through art for future generations that they may have a better chance than we did now. That's what I'm referencing that time, right? That's what I was doing. And it was written so expensive before I even knew about green screen, right? It's written with such a budget needed to do it that I didn't think it would ever be made. But the Wachowskis promised to get it under budget with Joel Silver. Okay. And I was asked to pitch it to Bonaventura of Warner Brothers, and he was gaga about it with all the new concepts. So it was penned then at that point. Now, where did it come from? It was like Shakespeare in Love. I was putting in what I experienced. I was drawing from what I saw and adding the what if according to what I was told was the plans within the cabal. I was being groomed to be the face of the Christian coalition.
Oh.
I was being groomed to be an antichrist. I was being groomed to mislead all people with the blue eyes and the blonde hair at the time, the smile and dimples, to mislead everybody as the right hand of God, as they said in Netflix or Newsweek for Ralph Reed, who took my place, to mislead everyone down a path of darkness. That was what I was being groomed for. I decided no to that, lost everything. In fact, they say what happened to my two sons and the rest of us was because I, quote, dared to face them down.
Oh my God.
So when anybody attacks people like myself, like you or anybody else, my first thought is, I'm not like, oh, damn you. I'm like this. Please stop proving to me that most of humanity are idiots. Please give me the hope of humanity. Because the dark side of this, the cabal, has been trying to convince me to come to their side again, to be a script doctor, rip off work, saying that all humanity is bad, that they're not worth it. They're not going to get it, Tom. We're fans of your work. We're the ones that know it was taken because we're the ones that took it. Just come home. Work for us. So they're trying to have me lose my faith in humanity so that I'll give up on humanity. Yeah. It's a hard walk to tread, a hard path to tread when you're trying to keep faith in humanity when they're sending shills to you to mock the death of your sons and to mock your work, call you crazy and everything else. You're going to see them surface. And they'll say things like you should vet your guests, this kind of stuff, when we have all this proof that you are now holding through your emails.
Tom, okay, so you're on a larger scale than I am as far as getting the word out and putting your work out there. I'm just a little podcaster over here with a little.
It's very refreshing. That's very refreshing. I love it.
Thank you.
Nice part of humanity. Go ahead.
But the things that you're speaking of, I mean, I get threats. I get made fun of. I have people that are plants that get sent in to throw me off of course and to put me in a different direction that I shouldn't be. And I think that I could even have a handler here or there that keeps trying to pop in. Okay, so
they're getting you in the egg.
I'm feeling it. Okay. Yeah. And I know this is probably stuff I don't talk about often, and I'm not going to talk about it very much here, but it happens on a smaller scale too, when it comes to, because I think podcasters and people like myself, we are the grassroots. Okay. Yes. And people like myself, when it comes to my field is cryptid research. And so I'm dealing with Bigfoots and Dogman and Loch Ness monsters and stuff, but I'm actually putting out real information. Okay. And I'm only censored by, the social media companies and stuff occasionally. So it's kind of easier to get the word out, but I just have a smaller audience, but I'm experiencing some of the similar things on a smaller scale. So it happens on this level that I'm at too.
I see you, I can discern certain things. I see you as, and I bet many of your audience members would be the same, as a much larger than you see yourself, much larger power. And what they're concerned about is your influence. Now, your genuine nature, which is obvious, I said it before, you are come across as extremely genuine. That is a almost extinct, rarefied trait that's left in humanity in a remnant form. There are very few that are actually genuine. You can look at them and go, this is a genuine person. I have no doubts about it. Nothing's going to cause me to question it just by looking at you and hearing you and hearing you sound off. It's like, you're a genuine person. That is gold in a field of garbage. And so what we need to have is you protected and others like you. And that's who I wrote the piece for. I know you guys would get it because your minds aren't cluttered. All the wanting the glamour. What was the Wachowskis promised at their dinner when they failed at everything?
Material things.
Fame, fortune, and starlets, as if women are a commodity. Fame, fortune, and starlets, Dina Laurentiis promised them when they had never achieved anything. And still their work isn't made, the real work. So you guys that are genuine, and anyone listening in that is genuine, stay who you are. Don't lose your character. Don't lose your feelings, the way you can feel. You are salt of the earth. You are what we need to have remain intact and safe. The other side knows this because their agenda is to prove to us that everyone has darkness, that everyone's dark.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I appreciate that. And it's not just me over here. And I really appreciate those compliments. That's very sweet. But there's a lot of people, especially there's some people in the chat that also have channels and that are researchers that, we all get attacked a lot. And but we do it out of the goodness and the it just comes from a genuine place because we really want to help people and we want to be there for other people and share our stories. And so that's why I have a lot of respect for you for putting yourself out there and you sharing your story. And I mean, it's dangerous. It's very dangerous. What you do is extremely dangerous. What I'm doing is a little bit dangerous, but we're doing it for a bigger. We know there's a bigger purpose. It's not about us.
Yes, and that's it right there. It's not about us. Their side,
Mhm.
like this Sophia Stewart character, has her company called All Eyes on Me, director, producer, writer. If you are actually one of the genuine ones, you're not going to call your company All Eyes on Me. You're going to be saying, I mean, I don't know if you heard me on the other program. I was saying, let's not categorize who's the best of the best.
Mhm.
Let's never put judgment on each other or rate each other or rank each other. Everyone should be considered equally if humanity is going to advance and evolve. We cannot make judgments on who is better than who. That is a sandbox game left for preschool. We've got to move on for that, especially in this movement. We lift each other. We do not compare ourselves with each other. And gifted geniuses will not do that. We don't have time for it. But those that fail, that take the work, that they employ to take the work, are all about that. You'll see them all about wanting the fame, fortune. Now, if someone sat down with you, Dean Laurentiis, and said, Jessica, I'll give you this work, and you'll have fame, fortune, and beautiful hunks in Hollywood. I don't think you take it. I don't think you take it, right? You have to have the failed ones doing it. There is definitely a way to discern. Yet the failed ones call us the ones with ego. That's the main task. They'll say we're egotistical. Sophia throws it all the time at me, Sophia Stewart. Egotistical, we're out for ourselves, we're egomaniacs, delusional. That's what they throw all the time. When they're the ones that are actually projecting themselves on those of us that are actually trying to feed the flocks. We're actually trying to take care of the kids, lift each other, and you can tell in the program that happens. You and I on the air right now with your beautiful chat room, we are not tearing at each other. We're not competing for attention. We're not trying to put our stuff forward and say, well, Jessica, mine's better than yours. No. In fact, we're ones that will say, Jessica, you've done a great job, and I'm really honored to be here with you. That's not how they talk. That's not how they talk. It's pretty easy to discern what's real once we remove the veil of what they put on us. Get rid of the Hollywood red carpets, get rid of their programming, get rid of their whole celebrity thing, and turn it around to what it should be, worthy of celebration. You are worthy of celebration. These people in here are also worthy of celebration that have their channels, worthy of celebration because they're getting the job done. It's what you do. So that's why I'm just point that out. It's just, that's my heart. My heart in the work is to gather a remnant of people from cross disciplines. That's the code in the Matrix story, the Immortals, that have a heart for all life to solve the world's problems by coming together in a think tank. That's the code in the Matrix. And incidentally, what the Wachowskis did was they took the Immortals title and they just switched letters around. The Warner Brothers, I sent the materials to you, actually have a copyright on the Immortals. Wachowskis were so mad about having another writer brought in to replace them in Assassins that they broke the rule. They didn't use the copyright titles under Immortals, the subtitles. They took the letters of the Immortals, switched it around, and came up with Matrix. Yes, the writer of the Matrix. They just switched the letters around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. So everything, gosh, I love this, Tom. Okay, so what comes to my mind is it's kind of ironic, right? Is the people that we're talking about and the things that we're talking about, they're living in the Matrix, right?
Yeah.
They're living in the Matrix, and that's what the movie is about. And I know my audience is very familiar with the Matrix, but the Matrix is basically just a virtual world that's been pulled over the minds to hide the truth. Okay, to hide the truth. And I feel like the truth has been hidden from us for so long. And those of us who are trying to put the truth out there are the ones that are being targeted. And they're trying to shut us up.
Okay, you ready? You are
Yes.
such a frickin' genius.
Okay.
God, thank you. I knew this was timed right. What puts us in the Matrix? What tech device, locks us forever in the Matrix? What technical device that this author channeled through, put in the work to make the work is the first thing Warner Brothers attacked me on and said it's not in there. What do you think is the tech in the Matrix that will lock you in the Matrix? Anybody?
Oh my gosh.
Anybody?
I mean, It could be your cell phone for all I know. It could be anything.
You're on the right track.
Okay. What could it be? I'm going to say a cell phone or some kind of Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or something. I don't know.
The Neuralink.
The Neuralink. Oh my God. Of course. I
Neuralink
didn't think of that.
is a way to have you locked in the matrix. I
Yeah.
intended the Neuralink like when I created it for the work, and it's all through it. Jack's the back of the neck. In fact, I have a hole in the back of my neck where it all comes from a cyst that was excised, and it left a scar and a hole in the back of the neck, and that's where I would touch, and that's where the whole Jack of the neck came from. If that cyst had been up higher, that Jack would have been here, but it was right on the center of the back of the neck. That's where it came from, me touching that hole as the author. And then the whole idea of being jacked into where you can relive your memories and also have a library of memories where you can live your ancestors' memories. You can feel what they felt and live what they lived without even hearing words. Think of it. You can take an Alzheimer's patient I intended, and they would be able to be fully functional. You could have a parent who's driving their car and they have a terrible accident. Their child's near death. They pop in the medical enhancer, I called it. He changed it to Neuralink, it's enhancer. And be able to do anything medically on their child instantly and save their life by a downloaded instant program. Now, they left all that out. But see, I'm the creator. I'm not trying to brag. Again, it's not about me. It's about all of us. So when I say I mean us. All right? Because it's meant for all of us. This was actually, I've been told Disney this. This was written as a gift, my gift to humanity, just like all those others out there of yours that are writing gifts for humanity and doing gifts for humanity. We're givers. And I tried to tell Disney, stop saying it's all about power. It's about compassion with power. If power doesn't corrupt, absolutely, if compassion's seated in that formula. If it's compassion and power, you will not be corrupted. It's not absolute. You're going to be using that power to give. See? And so that's what this was written as a service to humanity. If you write from that aspect and that orientation, your work's going to do really well because you're allowing, you're serving your audience, right? Treating them smart. They didn't understand that. So they give it to failed people. But the Neuralink was taken and given to Elon Musk. He didn't come up with it. It was given to him by the Warner Brothers contingency.
Oh, and yeah. I feel like a lot of things like that inventions and things that are so, going to push humanity forward. I don't think those people, not all those people came up with that. I believe it. I believe 100% that some of these people are just given these things to be the face of the Neuralink or whatever.
Oh my God, you said that. That's so.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell your chat people, you do have a brilliant light right there. Oh my God. And I'm not trying to flatter you or hit on you or anything. I'm a soul being, another person telling another person, well done.
Thank you.
Done, Jessica.
I just see patterns, Tom. That's all. I do this thing, remote view stuff, and I see patterns in everything now. I've been doing this long enough to where you see it. It's pretty obvious.
Thank God for you. There's a time. Yeah. There's a time with eclipse coming. There's a timing right here, right now, with everybody gathered right here. I'm going to go on a limb and say, every one of us right here, chat here on the air, we're meant to be here right now. Yes. Take it to the guy that wrote the Matrix. Because what we have right now, if it helps, what we have is, yes, media control. Absolutely right. They use their own media sources to control the narrative, don't they? And to steal the work. They use the courts as a means of a second theft. So they can then steal with impunity, right? And what's going on is, and this Neuralink thing, that's really good too, because you know that in Star Trek, the Darkness Star Trek series, they actually say, and I have the clips to show you later, the screenshots, they call it neuroenhancer first. In the same episode, they switch to Neuralink in the same episode. So I called it enhancer. They call it enhancer. Same episode in Star Trek, they switch it from Universal Studios to Neuralink. They're giving themselves away. But that's what's so wild is they'll call us crazy, delusional, disconnected, seriously physically impaired. We are tracking multiple thoughts right now on heavy duty material with a brilliant audience and friends that are able to follow exactly what we're talking about. That's the future of humanity. And what's going on is, you ever watch the film Idiosyncrasy? Idiosyncrasy?
No, I haven't seen that. No, not yet.
In the chat. Idiosyncrasy, basically, if I got this right, is how the world has all these people that are not very smart thriving and taking charge of the world. And the smart people are thumbed out. What Warner Brothers does, besides saying everything's dark, is saying that the strongest will survive, and that using Darwin's theory, that the world is being better and better by those that take control, seize control, take what they want. The alpha males, if they get control and take materials like, say, steal this screenplay, they're saying the Wachowskis are then perpetuating an age-old rule of life, as Morgan Freeman narrates it in The Origins of Life, whatever it is, that those of you that take, steal, are actually using your wherewithal to follow the rules of the laws of nature, to be the best. What's happening is we're stealing from our own pockets. We're dulling humanity down. We're ruining humanity by embracing that thought process and having Morgan Freeman narrate it for us to try to cement it in stone. This is not evolving humanity when those of us that are working hard to hammer out things as a service are simply being beaten and stolen from and railroaded through the courts. And then the ones that steal it are considered the ones that are going to be the evolution of the planet and humanity? No, that's taking us backwards. The ones that fail at everything. Anyway, I love what you said about that. But anyway, what you said, I went on the pathway of the writer thought train, but go ahead.
Oh no, I love it. I think you're doing a great job. I think we're making a good team tonight talking about this stuff because it's so important. And you mentioned the solar eclipse tomorrow. I mean, that's a big deal. Okay, and there's something really weird about that. And I feel okay. So I can tell that I'm living in a matrix. Let's just say, by things like the solar eclipse and the programs. I feel like sometimes I just feel like somebody hits a button and the program changes. And I don't know if that has something to do with like even the Mandela effect. You know, there's Mandela effects in that in the Matrix movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So and okay, so but I feel like, you know, the stars are not aligned. Like it's not even the right.
Oh, yes.
It's like the moon's in Pisces right now. It's not even supposed to like line up with the moon and the sun together and stuff. Like, and the government, dare I say, is, you know, sending out all the National Guards and the Homeland Security, and they're going to be shooting off rockets into the sun. And like, what? Wow.
Can I just tell you that if I was to rewrite this script right now, if I was to rewrite this script where the whole balance of the equation, where at the end of the Matrix, again, how they simplify it, they have the Oracle babbling with the architect about this easy alliance and where I don't know how to balance the equation, blah, 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 blah. The thing is that the balancing of the equation comes from getting free humanity untainted to come out of Zion by an ambiguous oracle that brings them out to see the architect come back as Christ so he can have the pure power worship, purging his agents so his mind will be stimulated forever. But if the architect had you in front of him and your chat people, he'd be stimulated forever. Forget it. They just need you guys.
Man.
That would stimulate their minds forever because I am being stimulated. And I felt like, you know, bored to death in life because there's just nobody that would stimulate my mind. You guys are stimulated. And the comment about Einstein, spot on. I even heard his wife was contributing stuff. So it's like, really what you have is this whole game now where it's apropos or proper to steal from each other. What? The house isn't going to stand if we're going around saying that's the way to evolve, right?
Yeah.
So yes, but here's the deal. The Matrix itself, the studios, and I have tapes of different calls with Disney heads and stuff, believe it or not. Yeah, I taped them. I don't care. I taped them.
Good for you.
Yeah. The thing is that they're saying things like, we put you in your own story. Okay, thanks for having that on record. Yeah, thank you. And Bob Iger's office. And so, yeah, we put you in your own story. You have to understand.
Well, you should be grateful. You should be grateful, Tom. Just kidding.
I know. Well, here's the deal. How stupid are they? Are you ready? I think anybody in the audience would follow this. How stupid are they? Oh, that's nice.
Thank you, Foxy Joe, for that super sticker. We appreciate you. Thank you.
That one. I think that's really sweet. Okay, how stupid are they? Think of this. If you're stealing the work, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're saying to the original author you stole from, we put you in your own story. That means they're in the story with me. Who owns that territory? The creator of that territory, the creator of that story. If they're in the story with me, it's my story. I can outwit them. And even at TMZ, they said, it was kind of stupid we did this to you, Tom, because if you're smart enough to write the Matrix, you're smart enough to follow the trail. I'm like, yeah. Now I have to grudgingly devote my life to following their stupid breadcrumb trails, which are like steak trails. Yeah. When they put everything like I sent you in the inserts, it's like I'd rather be writing more material. But if I write more material without writing this, others are going to get ripped off. Children are still going to suffer. Animals are going to suffer. This world's going to suffer until we claim back. So I wrote the work, final thought on this one. I wrote the work to create a world where people like all of us will fit, where people with compassion and benevolence would fit, And isn't it interesting, even in stolen form, we have that world right now from the lifted images. Isn't that amazing? So we do have that seeded and planted for decades now. All that means present our evidence. And you said about being a host, you are permitting it. Why am I still alive? They said, I won the chess games because I'm doing interviews. You are the reason my last son and I are alive. The people with these wonderful comments in the chat are part of me being alive. My son's alive and others like me. And I will do the job and I'll finish the job. Count on it. One of the things that it says, get this too, when they simplified it, one more thing, I don't mean to talk so much and talk over it, but I want to share this. You got me going.
Okay, do it.
The original story, now cut it and go to the clips. In the original story, Neo has a best friend. Stay with me now on this one.
Okay.
They simplified this. The best friend of Neo is a former agent who's had his memories erased. But he knows his memories are erased and has residue of horrendous things that happen. Josh Whedon used it in Dollhouse afterwards. So what happens is you have this residue going on. So his best friend is an agent. Now why? Why did the architect allow that? Because later, in the Matrix, you'll see Neo and Trinity get into the Cortex building basically unopposed. How'd they get in the Cortex building basically unopposed? Because the architect in the original work reinstates his best friend to meet him in the hallway, to have the shock effect of a friend turning on you. Instead, the friend faces him down and says, basically, help yourself. Screw them. I'm standing for friendship. And he's terminated remotely. That's how Trinity and Neo get into the Cortex building unopposed. And yes, I have the dome at the end too. So doesn't that make more of I'm going to venture out here, is that a little more interesting than just getting in there? They simplified everything. Your best friend being employed to work against you. How many in the chat know what I'm talking about in your own lives, that they employ your own to work against you with rewards?
Oh my God.
Right in the original screenplay. So
Tom, that's what happens. That's part of the Matrix. That's part of the Matrix.
It's original work.
Well, when there are people who are working to help humanity, who are here to do a job, we're on a mission. I'm on a mission. You are too. We're on a mission. Once your vibration is at a certain point and you are vibrating high, your energetic field is untouchable at some point. And I'm not saying mine's untouchable, but it's a lot better than it used to be. So the dark forces can't get at you, but they can get at the people around you. And so that, man, I tell you what, this is exactly why I've been attacked for the past 2 days, because of this interview right here. This interview.
Stephen.
I've been under attack, y'all. I mean, I swear to God, I have.
Stephen, who is working on the book back there on the floor with me, right? That's how our system of laying working it. He got footage of the planes zooming over, the jets zooming over, spraying our house. He got footage of it. Right over. So they were trying to hit you and hit us at the same time.
Yeah.
But here's the beauty of it. I'm supposed to be dead. According to them, I'm supposed to be dead. But they're fans of the work. Because they're so much fans of the work, I'm still alive because of the interviews and everything. So therefore, it disrupted their whole timeline. We got them because we're not dead. And we're talking with each other with these brilliant people here. We're talking to each other. This very meeting tonight, of course they went after you for 2 days, is going to shred them and make them throw furniture around the conference room. I am guaranteeing you this is going to upset them because it's screwing up everything.
Right. Whoever them is or are. Yeah.
Right. I never so much interview at all. You got me going. I apologize. I usually am sharing the screen, but right now I'm going on because you got me flowing out, putting finally like a calf off the trailer that finally gets to run on grass. I'm finally up, so it's nice. But
no, I already foresaw that we were going to have a really good interview tonight. We're going to have we're actually going to make it something that, I have a knack of making dark subjects kind of fun. Okay. And not just fun, not fun per se, but like informative and in a light way. And so that's what we're doing tonight because it helps to get the message out. Okay, it really does.
Too. Can I tell you about the Ghost program real quick, and also tell you about?
Please. Yes.
I know people are going to understand this. I'm not saying that I know something that others don't. I love it when others know it and add something for me to learn from it. I wrote the piece, The Immortals. This screenplay was written to ask questions and treat the audience as intelligent, and left out a lot of the backstory so we can all fill in our own parts and own it ourselves. You said you felt you belonged in it. It's designed that way. Now, the Wachowskis say, well, they meant that too, but they don't explain how. We are in a hijacked timeline. Now, the beauty of a hijacked timeline, take it from this writer, if you will, and add to it, please, is that a timeline that's hijacked will come back to its original lineup. It will. And we're doing that right now. Now, I want to share something with you, if I may. And here we go. The liquid mirrors, the ghost program. Ghost program.
Okay.
Does anybody agree with me that the ghosts in the Matrix were kind of like, huh? The two silvery ghost guys that were coming in and out of things, right? While on a highway, cars are flipping, trucks are flipping, and everybody's just driving along like they're going to Sunday lunch. No, the traffic doesn't do anything. If you had cars flipping and ghost people going like, you would go like, honey, turn the car, go around. No, you don't just go like, what? Yeah, I see it, babe. There's a ghost program. There goes a truck. Okay, kids, just keep going. Play your little games. Nothing to see here. It's like, watch the highway scene. Nobody reacts. They don't make it reality. It drives me crazy what they did to the story. The ghost program originally in the original work, and thanks for letting me explain this with my passion behind it, guys, is that the ghost program is actually a security device of Neo at his house. And what it does, and I thought it was great, they actually put it into their attempt at a second screenplay they scrapped. But anyway, just so you know, they actually tried to put it in. The ghost program is turned on when Neo realizes he's been framed by the architect, right? After he's been the red pill and being cut from the red pill. At that moment, he's being cut from the red pill. He can't get through the train station scene, which is liquid mirrors the train station scene. You can only pass through if you red pill. Trinity gets him through. That's how he gets out of the train station scene. And yes, it's in the original. The security device kicks on, which shows an image of him walking about his house like normal activity. Now, what's cool is the agents start firing upon it, right? While he's escaping, right? The ghost program. And I thought it was cool. The figure, the ghost program, touches the bullet entry wounds like an inquisitive child. So it's like going like this. And that's how you can tell it's really not him, right? But it's programmed to respond to all stimuli. So I even threw in a short fall where the program's going like this to themselves. Now, do you know that it was pointed out to me that in Matrix, they have Neo touching his bullet wounds?
Mm-hmm.
They kept it. So the ghost program was turned again, simplified to something stupid, and taken out of the story and ripped apart. Do you know that they said on set, one more thing, and I'll turn it back over. It's your program too. It's like,
no, it's okay. No, I love this. No, you're
so amazing. You're so cool. You guys are amazing. It's like, that's Virginia for everybody. So what they did was they said on set, we're going to keep the exact same ending. Exact same ending of what? They said everybody argued to blow it up. Why would they be arguing to blow it up? He said all the cast and crew said blow it up. The Matrix, blow it up to end it. Why would there be an argument on set if you have an actual screenplay? Oh, that's right. You got the stolen screenplay and you're making up off it with a storyboard. So you don't know how to end it now. So you've ripped everything out of context. So now they're arguing. And what are you going to do? We'll keep the same ending, the Wachowskis say. And that's all right here. The exact same ending. What's that exact ending?
That's your ending.
Is the little girl at the train station, the identical figures facing off. The pulse wave comes out from the one going in the crater. The pulse wave turns the earth green, renewing the little girl to life. The gray streets are greened again. The sunset forms. She comes up, hugs Neo, not the Oracle, because they need Neo to replace the identical figures. And she points to the sun. They did keep the exact ending. When we go to court on fraud and get due process guaranteed and do it, we can't lose. I will bet you my life we will not lose in a fair venue. And we'll do that fair venue even if it's another country, because they have done this all across the world. So we can pick Switzerland or wherever else where my roots are from, and we can do it there. Good luck, Warner Brothers. You ain't stopping us. And this world's going to be reclaimed by those that are lights and those that are visionaries and those that care about children and don't exploit children, and those that want a better future and realize that humanity lifting each other is the only way, where ego has no place. And that's what we're evolving to, not this dark garbage where the failed people are running Hollywood and the agencies. We're going to reclaim this world. It's going to be beautiful because the people are going to respond. Also, in part, my piece of the puzzle, my code to bring certain ones that feel called together to solve world problems. That's the code of the Matrix. And thanks for getting to say this.
Oh my gosh, of course. Well, I mean, what we're talking about is absolutely in the Matrix movie, which, so we're talking about we have to let go of fear. Okay, that's one of the points of the movie, fear, doubt, disbelief, right? And we also have to, I mean, we can't make people see these things. They have to experience it for themselves. And we have been going, and that's in the movie. And we
too. But just I'm
and
sorry to
yeah,
interject. I got to. You're so blowing me away. You're all blowing me away. Comments and all. It's like this. Listen.
right.
Remember I told you about the best friend who's an agent who had his
Mhm.
memory erased and he's put there and it seems like hunky dory until the end when he's actually reinstated and he sacrifices himself for right.
Mhm.
His phrase that he always says is no fear, no fear. You
Me
know why he
too.
says that? You just
That's
said
my
it.
phrase.
That's it. The
I say
reason
it all the time.
say no fear. Remember the room of monitors?
Mhm.
It's in the original work. The room of monitors are in here. So you have the room of monitors, and each agent is hooked up to a room in the room of monitors. And if they show any feelings or any fear, guess what happens to them? They're terminated. So
Yeah.
you have that going on in here. I'm going to see if I can just grab it, just see if it just pops up. But that's what's going on in here is the room of monitors. Right here, I think I got it. Yeah, wait, no, that's not it. Well, I want to just have it come up. Please come up. I want to come up. I want to show you for yourself.
Well,
Okay, wait. The room of honors in here.
okay.
That's what they say. That's why the agents say no fear, because if they show any emotion at all, they're killed. Now, with the neural link, that could be instituted. The
Yeah.
neural link can institute it where they're going to have a room of monitors. They can follow everything the agents see. And if you don't do exactly what they want, including killing innocents, then you can be terminated immediately by the detonation on the enhancer, which is in the original work.
Oh my gosh. I mean, this is all being enacted right now. You
It
know,
is.
but you were such a visionary with this work that you did, and for this to be playing out right now. I mean, we are living in a crazy, amazing time to be alive right now, in my opinion.
On that comment too, and I'm hearing you. I definitely agree with you. It's an amazing time. This is the perfect time to be alive. If we were
Yeah.
sitting up in the cosmos and said, and they got a choice, when do you want to come to Earth? Now. Now's the time to come to Earth. This is the time if you want to make a difference. This is the time if you want to matter. This is the time to watch a whole new world where if there's time travel, there is a lineup of tourists looking for tickets to this very moment in time with all of us. They want to see this moment. It's like going back to see the Declaration of Independence sign times 10. But what you have is this whole idea where we are going to win this thing because we're the creators or given this creativity. And it's amazing that it's all right there in the story and you're pointing it out so fluently and easily. That's the way we do it. We relax into our win. We're going to relax into it. We're going to lift each other. If we find ourselves putting anyone down, recheck, because the way to win is to celebrate, create beautiful work, bring your visions forward, add your piece of the puzzle, and don't negate anyone else's.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I just want to tell you, Tom, okay, even though this has been a really tough experience for you, having your work taken and turned into a movie without you getting the credit for it, still what you did has helped advance humanity. Okay. No matter what, I mean, that is an accomplishment in itself. I mean, you woke me up. Here I am today. I have the ear of a few people, okay, and I have a platform. I have a couple of different platforms, and I'm able to get the word out and share my message. And but that the information woke me up even more than I am today. So thank you for that.
Oh, I'm there. If I can finalize too, I appreciate
Yes.
so much. What you just said means so much. In the past, I couldn't even hear compliments because I was so put under. This comment that you just put up there about natural abilities is absolutely right. If we do Neuralink, they'll be able to monkey with it, take it out, shut us down, everything else. So really, I'm arguing, don't do it. And you know where Surrey comes from? Surrey? They took it from the original work. Is from Surrey. It's from the original work. In the original work, Neo has a wife and a daughter. That's why there's a little girl at the train station. The little girl reminds him of the daughter he lost, and she's being pushed forward, like Legend, to be put into him to go into the program for a better life. And they're ragged people doing this. And so what you have is Surrey is his wife's voice, manners, everything programmed because he's so obsessed about having lost his wife that he programs his home and his Neuralink and everything to her voice so he can converse with her even though he's lost her.
Oh my gosh.
Then what the architect does is he puts through a vocal through his enhancer, which is going to happen in the Neuralinks in the future. It says, she's still alive. That is the architect triggering Neo to go down a path to head to underground Zion to try to see where she is. The architect uses that one sentence, that short phrasing, to get Neo to go exactly when he wants him to go. She's still alive. They took that out too. The Wachowskis, why did you take all this stuff out? Why did you take it all out? Because they didn't care what audiences thought. They said, let them figure it out for themselves. All they cared about was lifting every visual they thought was cool and getting credit for it. That's all they cared about.
Wow. Well, that's part of the Matrix as well.
Yeah.
We are figuring this out for ourselves.
Yes.
And I have the privilege of having you right here to talk to about this and to bring you over here. I hope that you'll come back.
Oh, I'm honored to come
back.
I appreciate the chats too, because I'll tell you what, I'm a ghost. I'm supposed to be dead many times over. But I learned, and I want to pass this to people, if you have been wronged by the cabal and you have wonderful hosts that'll put you on the air, don't hold anything back. Say it all in detail. That is how you win the chess game. If it's out there, you become an untouchable.
That's right. That's why I'm not saying I put all my business out there. Okay, I don't, but I put out the important stuff, and I know when to hold them and know when to fold them.
Well, you guys, I mean, you and your I said your team, your chat team is like so refreshing. That's what I told my comfort would come from those that had a heart and compassion, that a remnant, and I put remnant in there. That's why Trinity is called Trinity, because Neo had 3 love interests, and it was about the remnant, and so they called her Trinity. Anyway, so the thing is, that's where my comfort comes from, and that's what's going to change the world. We are right there, and realize, many of you realize, or all of you realize here, you are much bigger. Many of you probably already do, much bigger than what they label you as, much bigger than your social security card, much bigger than what they write up in their little bios, much bigger. You and your vibrancy and layers of your humanity and who you are. And the more you can feel, the more dangerous you are to the system bring. So feel. If you feel down, celebrate you can feel it all. That might help you back out of it. Celebrate that you can feel, and you're going to beat them. So thanks.
Feel all the stuff. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. I wish I could talk to you for another hour, but we have to go, Tom.
I'll be back.
Can you please? Oh, you absolutely. I hope you will be. And tell the audience about your upcoming book and where they can find you. I know you've got a show that you do that I went on with the co-host.
Well, you can imagine what happens when in the situation like we're in. So my website was struck twice. It was struck when they were striking other people's sites, like Red Pill 78, Sarah Westall. All those sites got struck the same day, and that Sophia Stewart called me and said, all the sites are struck, and we struck your website. I'm like, okay, well, okay. Anyway, so that's being reconstituted as the real Neo story at world.net. You're going to see that come up. And those pages on the back there is going to be a book. We're doing the playbook of the cabal, which is also going to tell you about all the tricks used in the courts, so you don't have to go through what I went through. I'm going to feel really good about that. And also One Man's Journey. So we're going to do a whole thing with the whole story, the real life story, because the attorneys in Hollywood even said, real life story is bigger than the Matrix. Okay, fine. Let's do the real life story and let you see exactly where every aspect of the Matrix comes from. So.
Okay. Oh, awesome. All right. And you also do the Beyond the Box podcast as well sometimes, right?
Team on Awake Nation.
Yeah. Okay, and you got Penny on there and Brian Singh, he's a friend of the show, and some other great co-hosts. And I enjoyed meeting you there on that. Absolutely. All right, Tom, thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to see what you have in store for us in the future. And I'm going to see you again soon, I hope. Okay.
I hope so too. Please have me back. I'd love to be back with y'all. Definitely be back with all y'all, as I say. But the thing is,
all y'all. Now you're talking like me.
I would love to go over some of the things and have people ask, where'd this come from the Matrix? Where'd this come from the Matrix? Because it comes from a real life story. And the Wachowskis said they're not going to tell you. I would love to finally get to tell you where all these things originated from real life situations.
Well, we're going to make a list and have some questions. We'll take questions from the audience next time. How about that?
Fantastic.
Okay.
I love it.
Okay, Tom.
It would be great with a call in. Great. Okay.
It would be awesome. Okay. Have a great night, and we'll see you next time. Okay. And stay safe during that eclipse tomorrow. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Tom. All right, y'all. That was amazing. Oh my gosh. I had such a wonderful time with Tom. Please don't forget to go to After Hours with Rob G. He is going live right now. And please come see me over on my channel this week. I'll be live on Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday night at the Cryptid Hunters channel. You guys are amazing. Thank you for the super chat, super stickers. And just for being here. Shout out to all my moderators. I love you guys. All right, y'all. Have a wonderful night. Please stay safe out there. tomorrow during the eclipse. Keep your head on a swivel. Lock your doors. I'll see you next week. Bye.